So as a kid who grew up in the early 2000s, I was lucky enough to experience what I like to call the pinnacle of gaming, and it's all thanks to this thing. The Gamecube was never the most popular console back in the day, but looking back at it now, this console had a generational lineup. Luigi's Mansion, Mario Sunshine, Double Dash, Melee, Metroid Prime, the first Animal Crossing. I could go on for days. Or 8 minutes because I want extra ad revenue. But since the Switch 2 finally gave us the long overdue GameCube emulator, I figured we should talk about what games deserve to be ported to the Switch 2. Now for the sake of this list, I won't be including any of the games that are already announced. So far we got Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, Soul Calibur 2, and F-Zero GX dropping day 1. Nintendo also teased Mario Sunshine, Fire Emblem Path of Radiance, Pokemon XD, a personal favorite of mine, Super Mario Strikers, Chibi Robo, Luigi's Mansion, and Pokemon Colosseum. I also won't be mentioning the games that already got remasters for the Switch, like Metroid Prime, Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, Pikmin 1 and 2, the Resident Evil series, and technically Mario Sunshine. And it may sound like I just named off all the best games on the GameCube, and you're kinda right, I guess, but you'll be surprised to find out that there are so many more games to talk about. But let's start off the list with Wario World. This entire game feels like a fever dream, and I absolutely love it. After the striking success of Mario 64, gaming companies felt the need to turn everything and anything into a 3D platformer. Donkey Kong, Banjo-Kazooie, SpongeBob, what the fuck? Wario World was an incredibly short 3D platformer where you run around beating up these weird-ass monsters and collecting treasures. That's about it. But it had a special kind of charm to it. This game will never be on the level of Mario Sunshine, but it doesn't need to. It's a very fun game, and I'd love to see it return to the Switch too. Either that, or give us a sequel and call it Wario Odyssey. Speaking of the era of shitty 3D platformers, Star Fox went through a whole identity crisis back then. On the GameCube, we got 2 Star Fox games, Adventure and Assault. Adventure was released in 2002, and this game completely ditched the space shooter genre and turned into, guess what? Another 3D platformer. Now this wasn't bad in any way, it was kinda just a furry themed Legend of Zelda with some goofy moments, but they fixed their mistake 3 years later with Star Fox Assault, keeping the original space fighter formula with some occasional ground elements from Adventure. And personally, I prefer the air. Personally, I think this is a great formula for the Star Fox franchise. Ideally, the Switch 2 would bring back both games to get people reinvested in the series, but if I had to choose only one, I'd go with Assault, especially since it has a really cool multiplayer mode. Getting away from the influx of 3D platformers, this next game will take a lot of you by surprise. Eternal Darkness is a survival horror game developed by Silicon Knights, and it was only playable on the GameCube. Now, I've never played this game growing up because my Christian mom would have put me up for adoption if she found out, but from what I hear, this game is incredibly creepy and intense. The game follows the story of several characters across a period of 2 millennia as they battle an ancient evil who seeks to enslave humanity. And despite getting extremely high ratings across the board, it seems like the series will never return, with 2 attempts of making a sequel that both fell flat. Since we'll never get a sequel, I think the best way to do this game justice is by porting it to the Switch 2. And I don't think this is completely out of the question considering Nintendo just confirmed a new exclusive M-rated game being developed by FromSoft. Moving on, let's make a complete 180 and talk about the most innocent game Nintendo's ever created. Animal Crossing. For those who live under a rock, Animal Crossing is a simulation game where your ultimate goal is to pay off your mortgage. How fun. This game is considered by many to be the worst Animal Crossing due to the lack of freedom you have compared to the other games, but it was still pretty great. It's a very fun and relaxing game that any Nintendo fan can just pick up and play. I don't know if they'll port it over to the Switch 2 considering how well New Horizons is doing, but I've learned to never say never. This next one is an extremely hot take, but one of my favorite games on the GameCube is Super Monkey Ball 2. Okay, first off, fuck you, it's my video, I can do what I want, but second off, it's genuinely a really fun game. Basically, you're a monkey in a ball and you need to tilt the stage around to collect as many bananas as possible and reach the goal before time runs out. It may sound like your standard iPhone game, but Super Monkey Ball 2 hooks you. If they gave us Iggy Wrecking Ball for the Nintendo 64 emulator, there's no reason why they can't give us Super Monkey Ball 2 for the GameCube. Kicking off our top 5, we have not 1 game, not 2 games, not 3 games, it's Mario Party. Mario Party is in 5th place. Which one? I don't know. They're all good in their own ways. My dog keeps barking because he's a fucking jackass. It doesn't really matter which one they'll choose. I'm a personal fan of 4, but 5, 6, and 7 are cool too. They might just do what the Nintendo 64 did and just give us all, which is why all 4 Mario Parties on the GameCube share this one spot on the list. What I really look forward to though is being able to play these games online. I think that was a genius idea they did with the Nintendo 64 and I can't wait for them to do it here as well. I don't have much else to say about these games. It's a classic Mario Party. You can't go wrong with this. I don't think anyone will complain about having these games on their Switch too. Before we get into our final 4, I want to talk about some honorable mentions. These are the GameCube games that may have a chance of being on the Switch too, but I felt others were more deserving. Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes is a remake of the original Metal Gear, but considering how dirty they did Snake and Smash, I don't think Konami would want to work with Nintendo again. Donkey Kong Jungle Beat would have been a perfect game for the Switch too if you didn't have to use a pair of fucking bongos to play the game. Legend of Zelda 4 Swords Adventure would work perfect in the Switch 2's online features. Simpsons Hit and Run is basically GTA for children. Crazy Taxi is basically GTA for children. Kirby Air Ride is basically GTA. Kirby Air Ride is already getting a sequel, so Nintendo will either shaft it to the side or make a port as a way to get people into the series. Pac-Man World is one of those shitty 3D platformers they made back in the 2000s, but I'd be lying if I said this game wasn't fun. We're about to see at least one more Mario sports game. We already got Strikers confirmed, but give us golf or the football one too. Pokemon Channel is a game where you literally watch TV with Pikachu. And let me say, this is the greatest game of all time. It may sound lame, but I don't care. This game is peak and you can't tell me otherwise. Spider-Man 2 is a great game to have on the Switch too. It's very memorable and you get to experience funny moments like this. And our final honorable mention goes out to a hidden gem on the GameCube, Shrek 2 the game. Moving on to our number 4 spot, we have Metroid Prime 2. Now I've never played this game, but even if it's remotely close to how good the first game was, it'll be peak. I feel like there's a lot of people in the same situation as me who played Prime Remaster but never had the resources to play 2 and 3. So I think porting this game over to the Switch 2 is a great way to get people back into the series and prepare us for Prime 4. If you're like me and know nothing about Prime 2, basically it's another first-person adventure with Samus, which is really all I need, but something cool about this game is that this is where you meet Dark Samus. There's not much else I can say about this game considering I haven't played it yet, but hopefully Nintendo will come in clutch and bring Prime 2 to the Switch 2. Third place goes to one of my favorite Zelda games of all time, Shrek 2 Twilight Princess. Something I like about the GameCube era is a lot of the games were darker and edgier. Even their promotional material was a lot more serious. It's probably because at the time they were directly competing with Xbox and PlayStation, so they wanted to appeal to an older audience too. Which is probably why Twilight Princess is such a dark and gritty game. Not a bad thing at all, I actually like it for that reason. In a nutshell, Twilight Princess is about Link exploring Hyrule and defeating a great evil. Literally every Zelda game ever. But the way this game executes it, using the Twilight Realm and turning Link into a fucking wolf, put a fresh spin on the Legend of Zelda formula. Not to mention, this game introduced every incel's favorite character, Midna. Now the next 2 spots on the list are pretty obvious, and I'd say first and second place are both interchangeable, but personally I'm gonna put Mario Kart Double Dash in second place. I don't need to explain what this game is, it says it right on the box. Double Dash is the only Mario Kart with a constant gimmick, but that's what makes this game so special. Teaming up with Baby Mario and Baby Luigi to unleash a massive chain chomp on the racetrack, the monkeys throw down a huge banana, Wario and Waluigi drop a fucking bomb, we'll never get a game like Double Dash again. The partner gimmick was great while it lasted, but I don't think it'll work nowadays, especially after seeing what Mario Kart World's doing. But since the Nintendo 64 got their Mario Kart, I think it's only a matter of time until we get Double Dash as well. And finally, in first place, you knew it was coming, Super Smash Bros. Melee. This is the highest selling GameCube game of all time and it's all thanks to these sweaty bastards. I swear, Super Smash Bros. Melee has to have a cult following, because even after being out for 25 years, it's still one of the most actively played fighting games to date. But there's a sad reality that comes with this game. They're never gonna bring this game to the Switch 2. Nintendo will port over every GameCube game in existence before even considering Melee. There's been so many controversies with this game, it's almost like Nintendo wants to see it die, which is very unfortunate because imagine being able to play Melee on your Switch 2. That means we'll finally have a legal way of playing Melee online. It sounds like a dream and it probably is, because knowing Nintendo. Okay, but in all seriousness, Melee is a really cool game and it would be insane if we got that on the Switch too, but I don't think it's gonna happen. But you tell me though, what did I miss? Are there any GameCube games you really want to see on the Switch too? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, do the thing. Hopefully you learned something new about at least one of the games I talked about today. If there's one thing I learned from making this video, is that the greatest game on the GameCube is Shrek 2.